Good morning, everyone. My name is Muntada, and I'm bringing you a message from the Debian Perl team, a message of love for all of you. I will explain, I will introduce myself a bit, and then later I will explain which is Debian, who are the Debian Perl Group, and afterwards I will give you some tips about how to make our life easier packaging CPAN modules. And finally, I'll show you how we maintain our packages with our tools and all our environment. Okay. I started using Perl in the late 90s at the university. Finally, I got a job there. I'm still working at the same place since the late 90s. And it brought me to know CPAN testers. It was really a wonderful way to learn a lot of Perl, because at that time we had a lot of Unix boxes that only universities had at that time. So we could try a lot of modules that were failing on those platforms. And I learned a lot about compilers, a lot about Perl, and a lot about coding. So it was a very nice way to start with Perl. A bit later, I found out that in Barcelona there was a group of people that were meeting each month. They were named Perlmongers, and I joined them, and ever since I've been with them, going to the meetings. A few years later, I was interested in packaging a Perl module that wasn't available in Debian. It was Flickr upload, I think. I had a lot of pictures that I want to upload to Flickr. And I thought maybe there's other people that want to do the same and do it from the command line. So I picked that module. I made contact with people in Debian. They were very helpful, and they welcomed me, and they explained me how to package and how the tools worked, and joined the group in 2008. And finally, early this year, I joined YAPC Europe Foundation after working in the Granada YAPC last year. And I've been helping with the venue committee, choosing the candidates, and this is me. So about Debian, who's using Debian here? Wow. Great. And who's using Debian derivatives, Ubuntu or anything like that? Okay, me too. Okay, that's great. Okay, for those who don't know, Debian is a free operating system. We like to say it's a universal operating system, because there are many operating systems that build their own distributions on top of Debian. And even though it's mostly a Linux distribution, we have other kernels too. We have FreeBSD kernel for Debian, and we have other weird things like Mac kernel and something like that. It started in 1993. The late Ian Murdoch was the guy that started this thing. And as of a few days, we have more than 25,000 source packages. And when we build those packages, we have more than 51,000 binary packages. Depends on the platform, because not all packages can build on every platform. But the 64-bit computers, Intel, have that much. Okay. The Perl Group was started in 2004. Debian doesn't have a policy about how the managers of each package have to deal with it. There are some people that prefer to work alone, and there are others that prefer to work in groups. And there are other more informal groups that are only 3-4 people working together, but not as a formal team. But we started as a team in 2004, and the goal was to have the most possible number of Perl modules in CPAN. Sorry, in Debian, because we had a lot of them, but there were many people maintaining them, and it was a bit messy to coordinate all these efforts with so many different people. So some people started the group by then, and we are maintaining 3,200 of the total 3,400 libperl packages. That's a lot of packages to maintain. We are the biggest maintainer team in Debian. And I think that the second one is way below us. It's crazy. And there's been a new count of members this year. We split the members by half, more or less, because there were many people that weren't active at the moment. And right now we have 127 members that are committed to work in the team. And in the last 2 years, which is the last time was the Debian stable released, we have 73 committers that have made any type of work. Okay. We don't maintain the Perl package itself. The group doesn't maintain it, but the people that maintain that package are part of the group too. So that makes communication with them very easy, because we met on the same channels, in the same lists, but they maintain the Perl package on their own, because it's very difficult to do that. So what's the message about love? What we want to bring to upstreams, which are, in your case, this is you, is that we care we care a lot about upstreams. We love our upstreams because this is what makes sense for us. It's what gives meaning for us. Okay, so even if sometimes there are ups and downs, we depend on upstreams, and we love to have a good relationship with you. We like this sentence by Russ Aubrey. Okay, so are we very different, CPAN community and the Perl group? We think we're not, at least in experience. We like to think that we are an open community, that we are very welcoming for newbies. We like to help each other to learn the way we work, and we like quality code. We like doing the right thing. Debian is based on very strong policies about free software and the ways we want things done. So it's very similar for us to work with our peers in CPAN. We like a lot teamwork, and we find that working as a team makes us stronger. So, anyone is maintaining CPAN distributions here? Okay, not bad. So in summary, our humble message for you is thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your work, because you're so great. But can you help us make our lives a bit easier? Sure, you can. You just can keep doing the good work you're doing, make more CPAN distributions. It doesn't matter that we already maintain more than 3,000. We can take more, please. Make more distributions, make useful distributions, and keep up with the current tools, latest tools, and best practices, This helps us also in our work in packaging. Okay. Some details about how to do that. Please add changes file in your distribution. This helps us know what's happening from one version to another. It's very difficult for us to understand some changes unless they're documented somewhere and the changes file is the right place. And the changes file is not your BCS log dump, where you can automate that. No, please, this is for humans, this is for us, which are using this to understand how we can migrate from one version to the next. So don't just put a fix RT 1, 2, 3, okay? Obviously, we like that you mention issues and RT tickets. We need that because we also report a lot of bugs upstream, so it helps us to understand which of those bugs are fixed, so we can remove our own patches from the packages we made, okay? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just only fix RT 1 through 3 is not meaningful for us, because we have to go there, we have to understand the whole thread about that, and see how that fits in our setup. You have to understand that we maintain Debian stable for 3-4 years, I think. Usually it's 3-4 years. It depends on the next stable version is coming out. And we have to make the whole archive working with the versions that were released at the time the stable was released. So it may be that we are using the versions 2 years ago were released of your CPAN modules, but we can fix some of those if you put this, but you have to explain us why you're fixing this, because we have to understand what's happening there. So it's fine to mention, but not only mention, but explaining. Okay. There are a couple of fields in the meta files that maybe some of you don't know. There's a field named resources, and there are subkeys, bug tracker, and repository that we use for automating or forwarding bugs to upstream. We have tools that forward bugs to RT in CPAN. And we also use repository to fetch your tags from your repositories and use them to compare our versions and have a mirror of your own code in our repositories. So it's very helpful for us to have both, okay? If you don't put them, we have to put them by hand, so it's easier if you do it for us. We're using Git, we like it. It was a bit of a problem to migrate from Subversion. I will explain a bit later. Because we had one only repository in Subversion, and now we have more than 3,000 Git repositories. It's a bit difficult to manage, but it works. If you use Git, sign tags if you want, or if you please, or if you can, if you like. But don't forget, please, to push those tags, because it happens to us also. And sometimes someone on IRC mentions, what's happening? What's the release that you made? Maybe you forget to Git push tags? Yeah, sure, I forgot. It was on my local repo, but it was not very remote. So it's important that you push tags. About tests. Who does know what Lancaster Consensus is? The tricky one. Okay, we mentioned before that a Perl QA hackathon happens in different places. Lancaster, there was 2003. No, I don't remember the date, more or less. There was a Perl QA hackathon on Lancaster, and there were many interesting decisions made there that are related to best practices. And one of the decisions that we are using the most is that one that relates with environment variables that you can use on your tests to enable or disable some tests that are meaningful for some scenarios. For instance, if you're going to make automated tests, it doesn't make sense to ask for the user for any question that you have to answer on the command line. If you want to check something that only makes sense before you release a package, you have release testing. Okay? You don't have to test it all the time, just only before you're going to release. There are also extra tests that you can run as an author, that you can choose when to run them and use this author testing. And extended testing means those XT directories where you can put extra tests, and you can also set them. No? Leon? Okay, okay. Okay, thank you, Leon. Okay, there are some other, I think there was another one variable, I don't remember. If it's coming later, I think. Another thing that is important, and on Debian builds, there may not be internet available. So there are Unix boxes or Linux boxes running Debian. Some of the time they have very limited resources, and if the network isn't necessary for your tests, it most probably will fail. So it's best if you can set up some environment variable or use some module like test requires internet that can help you with that. Okay. Don't assume anything about the layout of the build, because sometimes people use git tags to get the version automatically in makefile.pl or something like that. That won't work, because we don't copy the whole directory on the build machine. We just copy the bits that we need, and the git is not there because it's a lot of stuff that we don't need there. So please make it easy for us. And finally, if you are using a lot of POD, you can benefit from test spelling, and it will catch some errors in English. Yeah. Okay, okay. So no network at all should be. No network. Yeah. It may be more fit to say no network at all. I think that it depends on the build machine, because there are different scenarios, and it depends on which one of them is using at the time. No, we are using the tarball. So you can obviously use your .git in your repository. You can later we can fetch some code from your repository, the branches, the tags. We can fetch it later, but the first version of the package will come from the tarball. Okay, so we have a clean version without more files that you'll see later that we don't like either. What was saying before about prompts, you can use this also is a environment variable from the Lancaster Consensus, if I remember right, to say that some tests can be run if they need some interactive response from from the client. You can use makemaker prompt instead, which you can use for setting some defaults, and if it tries to figure out if there is a TTY listening, and if there isn't, he will choose the defaults and go on. Okay. And also think that it's not only for Debian Perl team. We have also CPAN smoke testers that depend of being possible to automate everything without requesting any interactive response. About tarbles, we don't like Debian directories in your tarbles because we are very picky about how to package for Debian. There are, we appreciate that people do it, try to do it, but in the end, it's we have to start from scratch because there are many things that depend on our tools. That we are picky about some policies and some copyrights and some things, and it's difficult for you to get all the picture. So don't bother. Let us do that part. Is our part, okay? Don't put git ignore because we have our own Git repository, and don't let temporary or backup files there because that means that we have to check if there are some files that we don't need to install, and we have to figure out manually. We have to review the package and see if there are some files that doesn't make sense there. Another thing we have to deal sometimes is external libraries. There are some CPAN distributions that include some external libraries, Alien, anything if you want. And in the process they build them, and they may link them with the excess code that you need. But in Debian, we like to use the system libraries because it makes it easier to maintain security fixes, unless it's more easy to detect. If you have one only version of that library, you can fix that and it works for everything. If you have too many of them, you have to rebuild every package that uses that library from scratch, and it's a lot of work. And if there are different versions of that library, it's even more work, because now you have to figure out if that fix was working in that version and not the other. So you can use them, obviously, it's your code, but if you help us skip them and link them with our own libraries in the system, it would be very helpful. So just saying, please use the library from this directory, the configure or environment variable would do. Okay? Is that clear? Because maybe if you have any questions, please stop me at any moment. Yeah, please. JavaScript libraries? I'll come to that a bit later, because JavaScript is a bit tricky too. Yeah, I have a slide about JavaScript. But in this case, I was talking about C libraries because it's the most it's the libraries that you use with XS code mostly. Okay. Another one. I don't know how many of you use ink, but we don't love ink for the same reasons as before, because in every ink there is a different version of a module install that we have to maintain. This is a pain in the ass. We need to make the life of our security team easier, because otherwise the bugs are fixed later. So ink is having an impact on that. we had some, I remember we had some security bug on module install some years ago, and it was really a pain. Okay, so there are other ways that you can make your life easier, I guess. You can use this Zilla or tools that automate anything else. It doesn't matter, but maybe it's easier to find a way to automate the building of Makefile or BuildPL that not using ink. Okay. Compile JavaScript. I don't know if you were asking about compile JavaScript or just JavaScript. The thing is that has been recently some discussions about JavaScript and what is considered source code or what it isn't. So minified JavaScript is not source code, at least from the dev point of view. It isn't because it's not something that you can understand. It's you change all the variables, you remove all white space, and it doesn't make sense. You can make a patch or diff from minified JavaScript. That is clear. I think most of you will agree. Browserfied, I think it means concatenate several files together, so the browser only has one to import. And the recent discussion on Debian Devel was that this isn't also source code, because upstreams won't accept a patch for that file either. They don't use that file. They compile it with some tool. So we need the source code so we can patch, in case is needed, the same file that the upstream author is using. Okay, maybe that replies your question. Yeah, sure. You have to provide the source file, the original source file, and some means to build the minified version. It's that easy. You don't need to provide both. You provide the original one. Or if you want to provide both, you can, but we will get rid of the minified version, and we will need the same way, some way of building the same file. If we don't have the same result, we won't be happy. I mean, if it's easy to, I think that there's an Uglify tool or something like that. That if you can say, this is the file, just use Uglify with this, and the result will be the same because it's the same idea as I do, that's fine. Mm-hmm. It depends. If it's JavaScript code that you wrote for your application, yes. But if it's maybe jQuery or something like that, we have packages for those. So we'll make a trick so you will be using the version from the package. Sorry? JPEG, I'm not sure. We have a package, but I'm not sure if there's a minified version. It probably there is. But from the security point of view, we also like to have the minimal number of times the same file on the file system. So, okay. About requirements. This is a picky one too, because the easiest way to pick requirements is to set what you have on your local machine and build from there. Okay, but it doesn't work for Linux distributions because we use very stable versions. So if you're very picky about your versions, we can't use your tools, or we have to make some assumptions and remove your minimum required versions and try if it works, which is crazy. So if you're not sure, please don't put a version, just put 0. we'll figure out if there's a problem. You'll have a book report from us. This doesn't work with that version, and you have it. You can then put a version, okay? But if you don't know, just put a 0. And the other one is, some people use quotes, some people don't. Some people use and don't in the same file. When we are using our tools to make some massive changes on all the packages, we need some consistency on the syntax, because otherwise it makes it more difficult to find the little differences in every package. So either one, you use quotes or not use, but pick one, okay? About versions. Versions are also a bit tricky. In Debian, you have that this is not the same as this in Perl. So our recommendation is that you add some zeros at the end, that you use the dot version, because otherwise we have to use something like this, which is even worse, I guess. Who doesn't know what that means? Okay. This is used when there's a version change in the upstream author, and it changes the way the package was versioning in a way that you cannot track from one point where's the next version. So if I started using, for instance, this versioning system, and from now on I decide that I want to use the date system 2016 blah 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 blah, that would mean an epoch change, or we can fix that making this prefix grow, meaning generation. That means the first generation, second generation, third generation. Sorry? Epoch. Epoch or generation, I don't remember exactly. It could be epoch, yeah. No? No. And haha, legal stuff. This is boring, I know, but we need this because we are committed to publish all free software with compliant with our guidelines, and we need that you say which is the free software license that you're using for your code. If it's Perl or the same as Perl, it does work. It's fine. You just can say the same as Perl. Okay, that's fine with us. But you have to say something, because otherwise there will be someone asking you, please, can you tell us which is the free software license that you're using? Because we need it. We need it. And if you're mixing in your package files from other sources that are not yours, please explain where they come from, which license are they using, because we need also this. We have some tools that can detect some of these. The same way we have some tools that can detect minified JavaScript and won't let you package something if it's minified. But it means a lot of work for us unless you help us with that. Okay. With other tools, automating tools, you can make it easier. So if you don't like Dizilla, I'm sure there are many more that you can try. Or if you are uncertain, just tell us, and we can help you find out which is a better fit for you. Yeah. I think that we have some automated parts of Dizilla. I don't know if that part is being run, but we have Dizilla into our building system. So how do we work with all that? Sorry? Yeah, I meant that. Later I will explain that we have some tools, and there's a part of Debian that we use to build packages, which is named Deb Helper, and one of the plugins is this Zilla. So we can build from this Zilla itself. We don't need even the makefile PL. We can build from this Zilla. We have several mailing lists, but mostly we have Debian Perl on list, Debian.org, which is the main list. This list is also open for anyone to send, like most of the Debian lists. So you don't need to be subscribed to send a message. Just state that you are not in the mailing list, so people will carbon copy the responses to you. And we also have the Debian Perl IRC channel on OFTC, where we have a lot of conversations there. We have also several CPAN authors there that makes helpful communication with the CPAN community and the Perl community. And we had a couple of Debian Perl sprints. The first one was in Barcelona last year, and this year we went to Zurich. And next year maybe we'll go to Oxford. We don't know yet, but we plan to keep doing this Debian Perl sprints every year. Mostly they help us leapfrog some changes we need on our tools, and it makes the social part of the community stronger. And the Debian conference each summer also since 2000 or something like that. Also has a Birds of a Feather session with the Perl team and other friends that are helping too. So there's also, if you happen to be in one of those, you can share your thoughts with the community. About code, I mentioned before, we were using SVN, and it was easy to have all the directories there and only check out the part that you needed. But time we needed to change because Subversion was lacking some tools we needed. And it was more or less difficult to migrate, but we did it pretty quickly. And we now have more than 3,000 repositories. We use MyRepos, MyRepos MR, you know. MyRepos helps you with several BCS tools and helps you program some hooks on every command so you can make massive changes on many repositories at the same time. We have the website with public repos, and we use KGB bot that sends all the changes in the repository to the IRC channels that we can use also to track everything that's happening in real time. We have a lot of tools, mostly because there are a lot of packaging tools in Debian. Deb Helper is one of them, and we use it extensively. We were one of the first teams that used the short version of Deb Helper, which makes the Debian rules file very small and very easy to maintain. And we also have some tools of our own that we use to check for changes or forward bugs upstream or anything, other things you'll see in a minute. There's this tool named PET, Package Entropy Tracker, which is an overview of everything that we are going to work, or the work we have pending, the bugs that are upstream, but we haven't yet added to the package. Pending uploads, anything that happens on the team is there. You can see if your package, for instance, is which version is packaged. If there are some release candidate bugs which are needed to fix before it can be accepted. Then the main tool that we use to create a package from scratch is the HMakePerl, which picks a CPAN tarball, creates a Git repository, extracts all the files from the tarball, and creates Debian directory with all the boilerplate. So we later can review it, make the changes needed, pass some tests, and then we can build the package. There's a shortcut version named CPAN to Deb that is helpful if you just need to build a package for your computer, which gets rid of some of the stuff that you probably won't need. And the way the package is named is lib-foo-bar-perl. It's a weird name, but it comes from a long time ago, and it would be difficult to change right now. It would be a lot of work, so we keep it like this. Unless the distribution you're packaging is an application, CPAN minus or Starman or something like that, then you can usually have a short name without the lib and the perl at the end. Okay. We have a package named package Perl tools where we add our own Debian helpers. The command is named dpt and the name of the helper. We use it for forwarding bugs upstream. We use it to make changes to the Git repositories and to work with other to make changes to several repositories at all. And I've been working since the Debian Perl sprint in Zurich. I've been working and making automated pull requests to your upstream repositories instead of creating GitHub issues. So it will be easier to track the bug reports that we make upstream in GitHub. So hopefully soon we'll have this feature too working. Then, if you want to track what's the status of your package in Debian, you have several places when you can have information. The most interesting one, I guess, is the tracker Debian org. This is the most recent. It's been working since 2014 at least, but it's the recommended now place to track your packages, because you can subscribe there. You can ask for a message every time someone creates a bug report on your package, or every time someone packages a new version of your package. So this is the interesting one. The packages QA is the old version. It's still working, but eventually it will disappear. And then you have the book tracking system here, when you can subscribe individually each bug report if you want. You have the Git repository, as I said before, and you have several places when you can see the results of our build, automated builds. The build server here, it was only for XS code until 2015, I think. But recently, we also use it for source-only packages that are available for all platforms. So, which does mean it does mean every pure Perl package is also here right now. And in the Zurich sprint, we also set up this new development server that has some interesting features that we can use to test new versions with the whole archive. We can try the new version of Perl, which even are not released, with all the Debian archive and see what will break, which is really important to understand beforehand. So now we can get a picture of what will happen with new versions as long as they are published, and we do it automatically. So it's really helpful to have this information, and you can see what happens too with your tools here. So what happens if someone doesn't want to know about us? It doesn't care about what's happening in Debian or any other distro. We like to respect that, and we'd like to know how we could help those people. Should we make some kind of disclaimer on the package description to say, please don't bother the author, bother us but not the author? Should we send patches, or should we skip them and just get rid of the package maybe? If you're one of them, or if you know one of them, please let them know that they make contact with us, because we don't want to be a burden for anyone. So we welcome. You want to work on Perl, but you don't care about Debian. Oh, it's okay. Just let us know. Okay, it's fine. Some links. You have the main wiki page for our team, where there's a lot of pointers. Some of the ones I gave you before, and others. And the main this is the main page for the Alioth team. Alioth is project server where there are several teams. This is ours. And finally, this may be interesting. This is the guide we use to deal with to work with upstream. So if you find something here that helps you, or that you find something here that it doesn't make sense, please let us know too, so we can fix it. Okay. Okay. So finally, this presentation was made by Gregor Herman in Barcelona Perl Workshop in 2014. And I suggested that I made the same presentation renewed with new information, obviously, for YAPC, so we can have a broader audience. And these are the credits. So thanks to Gregor and Ghostbar and Axel, who did the first work on this. And that's all. Thanks a lot for your amazing work. We love you. Any questions? Dave? That's a good one. I don't think there is. I don't think there is, because the tracker is meant for Debian developers and for mainly for Debian developers, which are interested in different parts of Debian that they may not maintain, but they want to be alert about that. But they made it open so anyone else can benefit from that. But I don't think that there was in their mind that the upstream author could benefit. I will take a look and I will tell you. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Meta. Okay. We need. Yeah, notify me of everything that happens on packages. Please tell me. Okay, makes sense. Thank you. I will tell the team about that. Okay. the question was that in Perl modules that are packaged in Debian, we change the binary names that go to USR bin for other names, so they won't clash with other binaries from other packages. And the question was if this is also happening with other languages or other build systems, frameworks. It happens with everything. It happens in. It depends mostly on the team that is packaging those tools. But yeah, we changed that on Python, on JavaScript, and everything. The question is if we have seen this happening also in other distributions. I'm not sure. Sorry about that. It may be so. It makes sense that other distributions do the same. And the other question, if I got it right, was if we can suggest upstream authors that they change the names. We do. We do. Not every time, but we've done, and most of the cases they comply and they change the name. Sure. Do we take requests? Yes, there is a way. It's not an easy way. You have to create a new bug report, which is named RFP, request for packaging. So there's a special package that you can use to request a package for distribution. It's all in the web page. I'm sure it should be easier because it's not easy, especially for not technical people. But yeah, we have there are several meanings of 3 letters. There's ATP, meaning I intend to package that module. There's RFC, or there are others. Okay, request for adoption if someone doesn't want to maintain that package anymore. There are several. The name of the meta package that you can use to request that is WNPP. It's a weird name. WNPP. Yeah. You can look with any browser WNPP and you'll find the details. Okay. Anyone else? Dave? Yeah. There's people that come from or go from our team to Fedora, or come from Fedora to Debian, but mostly depends on the needs that everyone has at that time. There's not officially, that I know, any relation. We share probably many concerns, but since we base our tools are different mostly, our guidelines are also different because we have different policies. There are some things that we cannot work together. Mostly, I get that the upstream authors make our work, the easier should be downstream to package everything. But in the end, it's not easy for anyone, because there are some different scenarios, some different cases that it makes sense that should be easier for everyone, but in reality it isn't. But I would like that very much, sure. But this is a module that would use the author or the packager in Debian. Okay. Okay. I get. Okay. Thank you.